Hi everyone, I am so excited today to share with you guys three things about my favorite G Suite app, which is Google Sheets. So I'm going to show you guys three ways that I use Google Sheets to help keep myself organized digitally and in the brick and mortar classroom, just so that you can keep yourself organized during distance learning and even after distance learning. There are so many ways to use Google Sheets that you might think, wow, I never would have thought of that because I listen to podcasts all the time. Google Teacher Tribe, one of my favorites. Shake Up Learning. I also love Teacher Hustle podcast. I like Teacherpreneur podcasts. So I pick up so many things on these podcasts. It can be so overwhelming to deal with them all at once. So I want to break down these awesome tips and tricks into short little videos for you. So here is three ways that I use Google Sheets in my classroom, both brick and mortar and digital. All right, so the first way is I do exit ticket through Google Forms, right? So when you send it to a spreadsheet, it looks like this. Like this is kind of overwhelming. There's a lot of numbers and things like that. I hid the kid's last name so you can't see them. So the first thing I do is I select all and I wrap my text. So I click this button up here and I wrap my text, which brings it all to one line, which is great. I also have another add-on. It's called Crop Sheet, and I crop to data. That gets rid of all those empty cells around here, which kind of it's just my OCD kicking in that I don't like them there. So it brings it all into a condensed, like nice little table. Then what I do is I make my heading bold and I only had two questions for this exit ticket. So the first one was what belongs in the missing box. And then the second one was what um what rule relates the number of tokens to the number of games. Okay, so this was a 50A3 exit ticket, so I just wanted to let you guys know that. I know the answer was D. So how do I know which students got it wrong and which students got it right? I can look through and I can tally it up, or what I can do is I can highlight my row. So this is row F, this was question number one, right? If I go to format and conditional formatting, I can tell it to highlight the people that did not choose D as an answer. So you can see applies to range. It has the whole row of F that is here. Right now, it automatically does is not empty and it makes it green. We don't want it everything to be highlighted because that just puts us back in the same predicament we had in the first place. So I like to click it. Text does not contain. I know the answer is D, and I want to make it like a red or pink. So I know that that's wrong. So now I can easily scroll and see which kids got it wrong. Also, you can kind of see their scores. This was the first time doing this lesson, so don't judge my teaching based on this. Also, it's been distance learning. So this is how you can see quickly who got it right, who got it wrong. And the rule was to divide by 2. So I'm going to do the same thing here, add another rule. I selected row G. Oops, let me hit cancel here. Let me go here, add a rule. So row G now is question number 2. So question number 2, I know it was divide by 2. So some students write they don't understand. I know, of course, I have to go in conference with them. I'm going to make it red if cell does not contain the number 2 because that was the answer to multiply by 2. And then I can go through and see this question was really kind of like if they got the first question wrong, I can look at that second question and see why they got it wrong. So it was kind of a way to get the kids to explain their work without actually saying, hey, explain your work. So I won't actually go through all of these. I'll go through the kids that got it wrong. So this kid got it wrong, and I can say, oh, I didn't understand this. Okay, so now I know I have to go to Renika and I have to conference with her. Okay, so that's how I kind of analyze my data through a Google form. It makes my life a lot easier. Also, something that I love about this is you see I have 3 classes, right? I have 211, 215, and 214. I highlight the top and I click this little filter button. And let's say I'm only working with 211 at the time. I unselect the other 2, and then it brings me just 211. And then I can sort by first name. Awesome. So now I know that these kids, which kids I need to work with in this class. Okay. I hid their last names, obviously. So that's one way that I use Google Sheets in my classroom. A second way is I use it to track their exit tickets. So I have this little like form that I made. Again, I used Crop Sheet to make it all the same. I did not go through and highlight all of the rows to make them pretty colors like this. I selected them all. I went to format and I clicked alternating colors. And then you can choose whichever colors you want to alternate. Definitely my favorite. So all of my classes are color coded. So 5 to 11 is yellow, 214 is pink, and 215 is orange. So I have all of my colors quickly looking like that so you can see it. Okay, so that is how I do my alternating colors. And I check off which students handed in my exit ticket, which students didn't. And I like it this way because then I can see, oh, this student missed 3 days in a row. So I might want to reach out to their parent and say, hey, how's everything going? They missed their exit tickets. I know distance learning is tough for some of us, obviously, so we want to make sure that we're keeping track of everything. I know 21st century educators, they're all about data tracking and making sure we have everything written down before we go and do anything drastic. So that's the second way that I use Google Sheets. The third way that I use Google Sheets is I create my seating chart. So when I was in my classroom, I had this beautiful seating chart. I set up my tables. So I had 2 long tables, and this way I had all the space in the middle for students to come to the meeting area. I know 5th grade meeting area, they're kind of old for that, but I liked it because it helped them focus a lot better. So I had these 2 long tables in the sides of my room, and in the middle was the meeting area, and in the middle, back of the middle was like a manipulative center where they know they can go and grab whatever they need for their table. So I color coded their tables by selecting the text, the boxes for each person, and then I just did the fill. And I like to use these light colors so that it doesn't overpower the text. And I had them grouped. So I have the front of the room, my back of the room. And again, you can see all I did was right click, duplicate, and then it just duplicates the sheet. And then I can just change the names. And every so often I can just select and delete and then just go in and start fresh. And the colors don't change. So that is how I do my seating chart. So those are 3 ways that you can use Google Sheets that does not involve formulas. Yes, you can use it as a gradebook if you'd like. However, it can be overwhelming learning the formulas, and that is a video for another day. So I hope that these tips and tricks were helpful for you to use Google Sheets in your classroom, both for distance learning and beyond. Don't forget to like, rate, review, subscribe, all the fun stuff. I'll put a link down below to more ways you can use Google Sheets in the classroom. It's a blog post that I had written. So go ahead and don't forget to click the little bell so that you know when I have more videos every Monday.